Now let's just move on further towards the next question, which is question number 2, which says construct an angle of the following measurement. The very first angle is nothing but 30 degree and the second one is 22.5 degrees. So let's just start constructing an angle whose measurement is 30 degrees. So for it, first of all, let us suppose if I'm taking this particular ray, which is nothing but OA, and using the compass taking O as the center of any particular radius, I'm marking an arc over here, or let us suppose if I'm drawing a circle over here. So let us suppose if I'm drawing a circle of this particular form over here with any particular radius, and I'm calling this particular point as nothing but B. So using this particular point B, and again with the same compass having the same radius, I'm marking an arc further taking B as a center. I'm further marking an arc over here. So let us suppose if first of all I'm marking an arc over here, and further let us suppose if I'm calling it as nothing but C, and I'm joining this line. So this angle is actually nothing but an angle of 60 degrees. So this is the angle of 60 degree, but we wanted to construct an angle of 30 degree. So it means that if we'll construct the angle bisector of this particular angle 60 degree, then that would be our answer, that is nothing but 30 degree. So let's just start constructing the angle bisector of this angle, that is nothing but 60 degree. So let us suppose if we are drawing the angle bisector of this angle, so we know how we can construct it. So using the compass again, if we have this BC, so let us suppose if I am taking the compass with the radius again, and let us suppose I'm marking an arc taking B and C as a center further. So let us suppose I'm marking an arc over here taking B as a center, so taking C as a center, again I'm marking an arc over here, and let us suppose I'm calling this as any particular point, and further I'm joining this OE with a ray. So this angle, that is EOA, is nothing but an angle of 30 degree, because in total this angle is 60 degree, and if we have drawn the angle bisector of this angle, that is DOA, so this would be half of 60, and half of 60 is nothing but 30. So EOA is nothing but a 30 degree angle. So this is also 30, this is also 30, and 30 plus 30 a total of 60 degree angle. So let's just see what are the steps of constructions which are related with the very first part. So the steps of construction says, first draw a ray OA and further take O as a center with any radius. Draw an arc BC which cuts OA at any particular point B, and further we have with B and C as the centers, draw the two arcs which intersect at the point E. They are intersecting at the point E, and further we have join OE. Further, after joining OE, we know that this is nothing but the required angle that we have, that is EOA is the required angle, which is nothing but 30 degrees. So this is nothing but an angle which is of 30 degree measurement. So this is all about the construction of the angle which is of the measure 30 degree. Now let's just talk about 22.5. So let's just talk about 22.5. So first of all, in order to construct an angle which is 22.5, so let us suppose if we are converting this mixed fraction into the fraction as 22 into 2 is nothing but 44, 44 plus 1 is nothing but 45. So it says we have to construct an angle that is 45 by 2, means half of 45. So it means we have to construct the angle bisector of 45, and moreover we know that 45 is the angle bisector, or the angle which is half of 90. So it means that we have to start the construction of 45 by 2 by taking an angle of 90 degree first. Half of 90 is 45, means we have to construct the angle bisector of 90, and then further we have to construct the angle bisector of 45. So this is all, or these are all the steps that are related with the construction of the angle 22.5. So let's just start with the ray. So let us suppose I'm having this particular point O, and I'm calling this as nothing but the ray OA. So first of all, using O as a center, taking the compass of any radius. Let us suppose I'm drawing a circle over here. So let us suppose this is my circle, and again using the same radius, I'm marking an arc over here, taking this particular point as a center. So let us suppose I'm calling this as B. I'm making an arc over here, or marking an arc over here, and similarly taking this point as the center, I'm marking an arc further over here, and let us suppose I'm calling this point as D. So we have to construct an angle of 90 degree first. So it means that taking C and D as the center, further we have to construct the arcs as let us suppose taking C as a center, I'm marking an arc over here, and further taking D as a center, I'm marking an arc over here. Let's just call this point of intersection as any particular point P. Let's just join OP, and OP is nothing but a 90 degree angle. Now we know that the half of 90 is 45. It means we have to construct the angle bisector of this 90. So let's just start constructing the angle bisector. First of all, we have to take the compass, and we have to take more than half of this particular distance. Let us suppose if I'm calling this point as nothing but Q. So taking more than half of BQ, we have to draw an arc over here again using Q as a center, mark an arc over here which will intersect this particular previous arc, such that we are calling this point as any point and join this point with O with the help of a ray. So this is nothing but an angle that is ROA, which is actually of half of 90, which is nothing but 45 degrees. So this is nothing but a 45 degree angle. But again further we have to construct the half of 45, means again we have to construct the angle bisector of the angle ROA. So let's just again further construct the angle bisector of ROA using the same concept. We have to let us suppose I'm calling this particular point as S. So we have to use the compass again, taking BS. Again we have to take B and S as the center, mark an arc of the equal radii such that these two arcs, wherever they are intersecting, let us suppose I'm calling this point as T. Let's just join this point T and O with a ray, and this ray is actually forming an angle of 45 degree, 45 and a half degree angle, that is 22 and a half. So this TOA is 22 and a half. So using the angle bisector construction, we have constructed an angle of 45 by 2. Using, first of all, as you can see, we have constructed the 90 degree angle first of all, and the half of 90 degree is nothing but 45, means we have constructed the angle bisector of 90 degree, that is 45. Again further we have constructed an angle or the angle bisector of 45 degree, which is nothing but 45 and a half. So all these angles, so let us suppose if I'm calling about talking about whole this angle, so this is nothing but 45 degree, this is nothing but 45 degree, and in further we have constructed an angle bisector for this angle. So this angle is nothing but 22 and a half, and this angle is also 22 and a half. So this is all about the construction of the angle 22 and a half. Let's just see the constructions which are related with it. So steps of constructions means draw an angle POA 90 degree. We all know how we can construct. Further, taking O as a center with any radius, draw an arc BC. Draw an arc BC which cuts OA at B and OP at Q, and OP at any particular point Q. Now further draw the bisector from the point B and Q where it intersect at the point R, such that ROA is actually nothing but is equal to 45 degree. Now again the third or the fourth step would be like we have to construct the angle bisector again. So let us suppose if I'm adding the fourth point over here, that draw the angle bisector, draw the angle bisector of angle ROA, that is angle TOA, which would be nothing but is equal to half of the angle ROA, which is equal to 45 by 2, which is nothing but 22 and a half degree angle. So this would be nothing but the last step. So this angle is 22 and a half. This angle is 22.5 degree. This angle is also 22.5 degree because we have constructed the angle bisector of the ROA angle. So at the end, this is nothing but the required angle, that is nothing but 22.5 using the basic constructions.